All right, what's up? I'm back with another video. Today's video, we're gonna talk about flexing and why I think, or my opinion on it, and how to be an effective flex versus how to not be an effective flex. I usually do these in the range, but today I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do it with gameplay behind it. So I'm gonna show you, a ranked game in the background while I'm yapping, so you guys don't just get the same. Oh, wait a minute, this shit's playing too fast. So you guys don't get the same like range thing. There we go, fix it. So you guys don't get the same range commentary. All right, so we're gonna talk about flexing, why I think you should do it, the community's hatred of flexing, the pros and cons of flexing, plus what I think is productive flexing versus non-productive flexing. All right, so flexing. What is flexing? So flexing is when you learn to play basically multiple roles or multiple things in a video game. So for example, this game is broken down into Vanguard, DPS, and support. So a flex player would be considered as someone who could play either all three roles competently, or somebody who has an understanding of how to play three roles. All right, when should you flex? This is probably the most asked question that doesn't get answered, I think, correctly by anyone. So when should you flex, right? If you are a solo queue player, should you learn how to flex? Yes, 1000% if you want to win more games, because when you're queued up together, you have more opportunity to have your mistakes be corrected by your teammates, and you have better comms. When you're solo queuing, you have to fill roles that you either one, most likely don't want to fill, or two, that are being underplayed. So, what do I think positive flexing is? Positive flexing is when you have a good hero pool that doesn't supersede what you're strong at. For example, right, if you're a DPS main, one of the things that you want to do is if you are going to flex, you want to have most of the heroes in your hero pool be DPS, right? Because you still want to have competency on the role that you're going to main. If you are a tank main, most of the heroes in your hero pool should be tanked. Why? Because you're a tank main, so that's probably the role you're going to be the most successful on. If you're a support main, you want all of your heroes to be in support, or most of your heroes to be in your hero pool to be in support, because this is the role that you play the most and you impact the game the most on, right? So, what is a key number that you should flex on? I don't think there is a set number, right? I do think there's an oversaturated number. I think playing over 10 heroes spread across all the roles is insane. I don't think you're going to be able to build muscle memory. I don't think you're going to be able to build competency, and I don't think that you will be able to basically improve on the role that you want to main. So, one of the big things that I see when it comes to flexing is people overflex and they pick like too many heroes, and they get spread across too many roles, and they never master one thing in one role. So they become basically like a jack of all trades, master one. They're useless. Two, I see people flex, and then when they flex a character, they pick a character that is the strongest character in that specific role. For example, right, if you're not a Vanguard main, you should never fill on a main tank, because it's not your primary role. So you're not gonna have the experience, you're not gonna have the game sense, the game knowledge, the cooldown tracking to play a main tank, right? Because in essence, the whole point of flexing is to fill a deficiency that your team is having, right? So, if it's not your main role, you shouldn't pick a main character in that role, right? So for example, I'm a DPS. I am not gonna pick a main healer, so I'm not gonna play like Sue. I'm not gonna play like Luna. I'm not gonna play like White Box. I'm not gonna play a main healer in that role because I'm not a strategist main, right? So I'm probably not gonna do the best in the role because I don't understand fundamentally how to play the role strategist, right? I'm filling a role to help our team win. And yes, I have enough basic knowledge of what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing, but I'm not a strategist main, right? So my timing isn't going to be that of a strategist. It's going to be that of a DPS, right? So for me, if I'm going to flex a support, I'll probably play somebody like Adam, Mantis, somebody that's an off support, right? Because I don't want to be that main role, that main healer, because I'm not flexing to fill that main role. I'm flexing to help the team comp succeed, right? It's the same with if I was to play tank. If I was to flex a tank, I'm not picking Groot, I'm not picking Emma, I'm not picking Magneto. I'm not picking tanks that solo tank. I'm probably gonna pick like a Thor or a tank pool or a rogue or an off tank, somebody that's an off tank, right? Because it's not my primary role. With that being said, how do you flex and be effective? Well, one, you need to understand at least the cooldowns and the rotations of the character you're going to be flexing on, right? You need to understand their gameplay loop. Like, it really doesn't help your team if you flex to, I don't know, let's say DPS and you go Namor, but you have no idea how Namor actually works. Like, it just won't work. You're not gonna win games because you're not gonna know what good positioning is. You're not gonna know where to place your turrets correctly, and you're just gonna get farmed, and you're gonna do your team more harm than good. So that's kind of why you do not want to play. You do not want to play that role specifically. Or that character specifically. Another thing that you don't want to do when you're flexing is you don't want to hinder your team by you swapping to a character, which is why I always say that you should understand the basic gameplay loop of the character, because what's the point of flexing on strategists if you don't understand none of the strategists you're playing cooldowns, right? Like, if I just have like a bare bones understanding of Mantis and I don't understand what Mantis' job is supposed to be amongst the team comp, then there's no point in me flexing the Mantis, because I'm just going to be another body and it's not going to help improve the game state. It's the same with Deadpool. Like, if I flex the tank pool, but I don't understand how tank pool's gameplay loop is supposed to optimally be played, then I'm not going to understand how to play the character. Right? So at the bare minimum, you need to know the character's rotation, and the character's gameplay loop, and the character cycle before you pick the character and throw, because you'll actually do more harm than good. So the ideal number of heroes I think you should play in any hero pool when you're flexing is 5. You should play 3 in your main role and then 1 in each off role. You can go to 6. Right? I've seen people go to 6. I've seen people play 3 in their main role and then 2 in their secondary role that they feel like they're the strongest in, and 1 in their weakest role. But I think to maintain muscle memory and like make sure you don't get dead reps and sets, you need to play 5. I think 5 is the sweet spot. With that being said, how do you flex in that 5? Try to find 5 characters that have the exact same play style of your main role, right? I talk about this all the time. I'm a hit scan main, right? For DPS, I usually primarily main hit scan. You're about to see right here when I down Iron Fist, I think I switched to Punisher. I am a hit scan main, right? So when I flex, I tend to pick heroes that are hit scan heroes. Now, why would I pick hit scan heroes? Well, one, because most of the time when I warm up and I'm practicing the game, I'm practicing aim tracking, reticle centering, or I'm strafing, or I'm practicing my target engagement. That's how I work in this game, right? That's how I warm up. So I want to keep those skills crisp on my main role and feel like I'm not wasting reps and sets. So when it comes to supports or Vanguard, I'm looking for other hit scan Vanguards and other hit scan supports or strategists. Well, in that, you want to pick a strategist or a tank or a duelist that matches your primary role that you're playing, right? So I also like to take off angles. I don't really like to play in main, right? I don't like playing in main. I like playing in off angles, right? If I was a dive heavy player, right, I would pick dive heroes so I can keep my timing and repetition and muscle memory and timing and mechanics good, right? And this is what I was saying by when I was telling people like, hey, you need to pick roles that you constantly play in that you are actively impacting and affecting the game. So, for me, what does a flex composition look like for me, right? If I play hit scan, I play a lot of off-angle characters, I'm probably gonna play on support, Adam, or Ultron, or Luna. And on tank, I'm probably gonna play either Emma or Deadpool. Most likely Deadpool because Emma's a main tank, and I don't want to take Emma away from actual tank mains. So that's probably what my flexes look like. If I was a Black Panther main and I like playing dive, I would probably play Venom because Venom is a dive tank, right? I'm not gonna get no value playing Magneto. Because that's just how the game is like shaped and played. What else was I gonna bring up in this? Oh,
this is not over.
There's a difference between flexing and filling, right?
Heavy weapons.
And I want to express that the most in this video because I don't think people understand the difference between flexing and filling, right? When you flex in Marvel Rivals, you should be picking a character to fulfill something that you don't have. For example, if you notice that your healers aren't getting pilled for, right? They're dying. Your healers are dying. You're not getting pilled for. They just constantly keep dying. Nobody's pilling for them. They're not able to recover. You're not getting healed. You might want to flex as a third support, right? Or if you notice that you're not taking space and occupying space because your tanks aren't doing a good job, or you have one tank, you might want to flex as a tank, right? Or if you're a strategist main or a tank main and you notice your team isn't doing damage and holding up pressure and pushing people back, you might want to flex as a DPS, right? You should never look to fill based on a composition, right? So if you look at a team leaving spawn and your initial result is, hey, I'm trying to play 2-2-2. We only have one tank. I should fill tank. Not necessarily. Or we only have one strategist. I should fill strategist. Not necessarily, right? There are times when comps that don't look strong on paper could win. There are times when triple support is more effective than 2-2-2. There's times when triple DPS is more effective than 2-2-2. There's time when triple tank is more effective than 2-2-2. So you shouldn't force 2-2-2. Also, you should never fill a game that's out of your primary role to help your team win the game, right? For example, if you're in spawn and you haven't gotten a team fight and you're a DPS main, your first thought is, well, I should probably play tank because we don't have a tank. You're probably gonna do more hurt than harm, right? Play it out. See how it's going, right? If you lose the first team fight and you're like, damn, we just got clobbered. Maybe we do need an extra tank. That's when you swap. I think the problem with flexing is people who call themselves flex players and they just are fill players. Like, they're not really flex players. They're just filling the role. Like, they don't understand how to play the role. They don't understand how to make an impact in the role. But in their brain, they're like, this is why we're losing. And they don't really give the comp a chance to succeed. So my rule for flexing usually is, it's based on, one, how the team is going, two, the conditions of us losing the team fight. So if we didn't have enough sustain, if we don't have enough DPS, if we don't have enough frontline pressure, right? That's how I pick when I flex, right? And that's what your mindset should be. And then if you are gonna flex, never wait, man. Like, give it like 1 to 2 team fights. If you're flexing because you guys are on last point and now you're swapping, it's probably too late because the momentum's in the other team's favor. So you should always try to flex early on in the game, right? Versus later on in the game. And yeah, that's it. Pretty much gonna wrap the video up after this. I'm just gonna let the rest of this rank game play out because it's only, I think, like a minute left. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Executioner! Battlefield ready again.
Double KO! Down to 30 seconds.
Glory. My life force is exposed.
蝶の舞を食らえ
The final 10 seconds.
Extended my deployment.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Lucky draw.
It's spider time!
Just who Gambit was looking for. Need some ranged firepower. So long, turret.
I am ready to put on a show.
Better make this count. Another bump in the road.
Final score 2-3.